In this video, let me introduce how to combine body and facial rigging. We will explain it here. We have prepared some files here. For example, this body rig. We used Advanced Skeleton to rig this character. We have also finished the skinning, including the skinning for the head. Generally, what I prefer is to make a duplicate of the head model. And delete everything else. I only need this head model. Save as it to a copy. Save as named head mo. Then, based on this head model, we can create a separate facial rig for it. We have prepared a head rig. Let me open file. This is the rig I prepared. This way, we can separate the works of body and facial rigging. The in-process files also make it convenient for us to make modifications. Once this file is rigged, then we save it as a facial rig file. Now, how do we merge them? Let's first open the body rigging file. Import the facial rig file into this body file. Just this file. It's better not to bring in with the namespaces. Set these options. Import it. Now we have imported both sets of rigs. Suppose this project only for Maya, without exporting to the game engine or other applications. I usually will work like this. Directly use Blend Shape to transfer the facial rig. This way, we quickly transfer the deformation from rigged head to the head on body rig. The process is the same for others models like eye or eyebrow, etc. Now we have transferred the entire facial rig. Let's move the body back to its original position. Then we need to attach the facial rig controllers to the body controllers. First, let's find the correct joint. The joint involved in skinning. We break the parent constraint. After breaking it, when we move around the facial controllers, the facial joints won't move along with it. This select set is the auxiliary joint. We'll hide them. Then, we just need to constrain the facial rig controllers to the head joint. Let's take a look. We have completed this task. We move it away. Play with the facial controllers. We manipulate these facial controllers. The facial animations are all correct, including when we rotate this one. There are no issues. Now, for the remaining part, They are actually auxiliary objects. So we need to clean them up. We place them in the corresponding groups according to the rigging standards. We can put them in the auxiliary group. Let's save this for completing the first approach. There's another scenario where our character's animation needs to be exported to Game Engine. In that case, the joints should not be separated. That is not allowed. We need to achieve it with another approach. Let me open the body rig for that. Then we'll import our facial rig. First, let's hide the head model group of facial rig. Then, find the joints involved in facial skinning. This root joint. Disconnect the constrain. Find the constrain node name and delete it. Then, parent it again to the head joint. After parenting it to the head joint, we need to add all the facial rig joints to the body skin influences list. First, select all these facial rig joints. All the facial joints involved in facial skinning. Select them. Then select the facial model in the body rig. In the Skin menu, find the Add Influence option. Don't worry about the options above. The important part is the one below where we have to lock the weights. Set the default weight for the newly added influence to 0. Click Add. Do the same thing for the eyebrows. As for the eyes and the tongue, there's no need to add them. They don't have much deformation. We'll reskin them later. After adding them, let's take a look. Let's open the weighting tool. Now we have added all the facial joints. And they have no weights, and also locked. Let's unlock all of them first. After unlocking all of them, let's continue. Then open the head model which we previously painted the weights. Let's take a look. The head in the facial rig has skin weights, but the newly added head is from body rig. It doesn't have any weights. We need to copy the weights to it. Let's select the facial rig head model group first. Select the vertices we want to copy. Vertices. Let's copy the entire upper part. OK, select these vertices, then use our weight copy tool. Click on the multipoints to multipoints weight transfer tool. If the version you're using doesn't have this tool, you can upgrade the software. Let's click on Add Source. Deselect it. Then do the same for the target model. Let's select these points as well. Alright, now I'll click on Copy. This tool will copy the weights based on the selected points. And these points. The positions of these points don't have to match exactly. The tool can automatically find nearby points for averaging. Let's wait a moment. After the copying is complete, let's take a look at this. It's basically copied correct. And then, this one is also done. You may notice this area that the weights are not very good, because the copying wasn't very accurate. This usually happens when the target and the source skinned object have different settings for the maximum number of influences. It's the maximum number of influences. This number is different, but the right side is fine. The solution is to set this number the same and redo the copying. But now the weights on the right side are good. We can directly mirror it to the left. That should also works. Alright, let's click on this to mirror it from right to left. The weights will be copied over. And then we can actually remove this source group. Or leave them alone now. Then, let's constrain its controller. Constrain it with this head joint. Use this head joint to constrain the set of controllers. Let's take a look. It should work. We rotate this one. For these areas, the result around neck is not good enough. We can fix them. Let's paint on these areas a little bit. We just roughly mentioned it here, but these areas may still need some more detailed weight painting. For the eyebrows and such, we can directly copy the weights from the head to it. That should work. Let's redo the skinning for eyebrows. Use the facial rig to skin it. After skinning, copy the head weights to it. It's working now. For the eyes, we can do the same thing. First, unbind the previous skin. Then, assign it to the eye joint. The eye joint, it's this one. The teeth and such are the same. Let's do the same operation. Teeth. Assign to this joint. Same for the lower ones. It's this joint. And also the tongue. Of course, we can also use the Add Influence tool and then copy the weights approach. Because they don't have much or only have simple deformation, we can directly reskin them to the head joint. So, we can select the joints for the tongue and then select the tongue model. Alright, for this, we should select the joints for the tongue. And then select the tongue model. Let's reskin it. Let me take a look. That's it, we're done. Let's move it a bit. Everything looks fine now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.